Champ over here.
Learning it wise, don't necessarily talk about where you upshift. I remember everything as how many.
Into my arms. So Chris is gonna go out. I've rigged a camera to his chassis. He's got some new Shinkos on right now. Test. I think it's working. I don't know how this audio thing works. So we're out here at Spring Mountain. What's the total? What's the complete name? Spring Mountain Karting, outside about 52 minutes out of Vegas, and yeah, Pahrump, Nevada. We got Chris Mukey that just took delivery of his brand new AX160 chassis. So we went and set up the racing sim at his house, and as an awesome thank you, he's gonna let me pilot his former race car. How do you say, a Italicorse? Italicorse 125cc Shifter Karts. And I'm not even gonna act like I know anything about karts. I don't know shit about karts. I'm out here just to have fun, learn a little, and he gave me a quick rundown. All you guys need to know is that these things are insane. We played them in the sim. The speed that these things, operate at, and the G-forces. I've gotten to drive a couple at Musselman. Is just, you have to do it. It's something I can't explain. And I'm not even gonna, I'll give you guys my reaction, but it's just something you need to do for yourself to really understand how fast these things are. And I'm sure Chris will give us a heater of a lap and we'll shoot some footage, but I already know he's fast. So he's gonna go warm up this kart here in a minute. I'm gonna eat some meat sticks and suit up and get ready. Man, I should have been using this a long time ago. This is so easy. So we're on a DJI Osmo right now. I did bring all the camera gear, but I wanted to test this thing out because it weighs less than a pound and it's its own gimbal. It does have a built-in microphone, which makes it extremely easy. You're able to connect a wireless mic to it as well. This is, I almost hate myself for not using this sooner. This makes filming much easier, and it's not intrusive. I can put this in my pocket. Wow, this is crazy. So I just watched Chris go out, took some photos here with the old trusty Nikon. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be that fast. Mr. Champ over here. That was quite a display of 6 laps right there. But I did count the gear shifts. At least I might know where to put the gears per corner, but we'll see here after lunch. Chris is just gonna go over the quick basics of the kart before I go out there and kill myself.
And a fiery, happy qualifier. As we discussed, right now this is set up. It'll give you a blinking blue light if it thinks the water temperature is too cold. It'll give you a fast blinking red light if the water temperature is too high. Water temperature is right here. Right now it's 128 Fahrenheit. This top number, 183, is the EGT in Fahrenheit that's measured out here at the exhaust. You're not really going to measure that. I look at that on my own thing. RPM scale is across the top. You don't want to be below 9,000 RPM. Shift RPM is about 12.5. It'll over rev out to about 14. All of it's fair game. Over here is going to be an indication of your RPM number. And most importantly, when you're driving, this bottom right corner is going to give you predictive lap time. And then when you cross the start finish line, it's going to give you actual lap time. Hold for like 5 seconds to see what you did. But the entire time you're driving, you'll see it updating. Right now I have the LED set up. Instead of doing RPM, you're going to see in 1/10 increments from your last lap. If you are improving or getting worse by giving green a maximum of a half second improvement, or red a maximum of a half second worse loss of time. And in a nutshell, that's everything that you're going to look at on there.
Sweet. So I am on the iPhone really quick because I swapped the SD cards and we don't have another mini, or it's just hiding from me in the bag and I haven't looked hard enough. This is the most effort I've put in to recording my driving in probably the last 4 years. So we've got the Insta360 here on Chris's kart. Gonna get some POV footage of my steering angle, and then I'm gonna use this mount to put it on my helmet. So gonna go out there and do some very rough few laps, get familiarized with the course, hopefully get really acclimated quickly here, and be within 10 seconds of Chris. So an interesting thing, if you guys are really new to karting, which I am, I'm a super noob, we wear rib cage protectors. This one's a little big on me, but gets the point across here. It's because the kart pulls so much G's, it could break your ribs. The first time I drove one, I didn't wear one, and I bruised the shit out of my ribs. I think Chris expects He-Man, Superman, Batman of me to pilot this kart. I hope I can do so. But yeah, I just want to show you guys that you wear this to make sure that your rib cage stays safe. So we're gonna go out there, take a few slow laps, go over this track map right here. Here's the track that we're gonna be driving. We'll go over that really quick, and then we'll do the real thing.
On the downshifts though, just give it all. It's you don't have to baby it so much. So when you come in, if you need 3 downshifts, give it 3 downshifts. The back pressure is not so bad that it'll put you into crazy wheel hops and stuff like that. So ba ba ba, and you'll hear it ba into the corner, and then when you go back to the throttle, it's ready to go. So don't dick around with the downshift. Like I said, you know how to use the clutch. We'll talk about starting once we get up there. Track. When we talk about the track, learning it wise, don't necessarily talk about where you upshift. I remember everything as how many downshifts. The upshifts will just organically happen because you'll know that it needs it. 3 downshifts, 2 downshifts, and here it's gonna go 1 downshift, 1 downshift, 1 downshift, 1 downshift, 2 downshifts, 1 downshift.
By the way, guys, this guy, he might hold the track record. All right, let's download. So let's center this thing.
Start.
Go.
Don't use the clutch for the start.
Okay.
Just, I'm gonna push you. You just push it forward. It's gonna go bop, bang and start.
Oh, don't even press the clutch?
Don't clutch it at all. It's gonna bang. As soon as it starts, pull the clutch in.
Okay.
And then ding, 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 and then just run it. I'll run start myself, and then just follow me on track. And then the only time that you should have to use the clutch again after that is when we come back in, and then you'll, whatever, clutch it. The other thing, these engines are not set to idle. They're set to, if you let it go, it will die. So when you're sitting there,
keep hitting the throttle.
Yeah, you need to sit there with your foot and do this to keep it going. And then neutral is between first and second. It's like a motorcycle. So there's first, there's neutral.
What did you do to your gloves, Chris?
Those are old. They've raced in the rain a couple times, stuff like that. That's the only thing I guess for the conscience. Hop in. Usually it's easier to go in from that side. We'll work on that later.
Oh, I didn't put that on?
Okay.
Oh, you got me nervous.
Let me touch this guy. Okay. The shifter, it's just something to be aware of. Got it. Yeah, I told you it's downshifts, upshifts.
Yep.
It doesn't like it, say like if you shift and then you hold it there, it doesn't like that. As in like the dogs. No, it's cool. Push it until it, and you'll feel it, like a dog box feel when it does it. But it'll only take shifts if it's rolled. Like the transmission has to roll. You're in neutral right now. All right, whatever. There's first. The thing that I say is like, so when you shift it, but it has to come back to neutral. Otherwise, the fork doesn't grab the next gear. So if you like, 3 shifts are coming, and so you go, bop, and then you try to go like start.
Yeah.
Don't use the clutch for the start.
Okay.
Just, I'm gonna push you. You just push it forward. It's gonna go bop, bang, and start.
Oh, don't even press the clutch.
Don't clutch it at all. It's gonna bang. As soon as it starts, pull the clutch in.
Okay.
And then ding, 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 and then just run it. I'll run start myself, and then just follow me on track. And then the only time that you should have to use the clutch again after that is when we come back in, and then you'll, whatever, clutch it. The other thing, these engines are not set to idle. They're set to, if you let it go, it will die. So when you're sitting there,
keep hitting the throttle.
Yeah, you need to sit there with your foot and do this to keep it going. And then neutral is between first and second. Yes, it's like a motorcycle. So there's first, there's neutral.
Take off slow if you can. But I'd keep rolling after you drop it in.
I would be the 51st asshole. They would be like, that guy's this is why I do Excel spreadsheets, bro.
So,
still trying to catch my breath, and I still sat for 30 minutes. Here's a good angle. You know what? We're gonna go download in the. Let's go download in the trailer here. I'm unsold immediately.
Charles versus me, same kart. There was me doing the warm-up laps, you doing that. All right, so your lap that we're gonna go measure against was this 51.3, which was lap 7, but pretty good consistency. So we went out, we drove, we did a lead follow, you soaked it in, and then you can see that you went for 3 hard laps, and so your 3 hard laps, you came down 51.9, 51.5, and a 51.3, so cool. That's theoretical. Right now for you, if you tie it together better, is 50.8, 50.8, 50.9. But okay, so let's just go straight time bar. Okay, for you and I, max speeds, which is all straightaway stuff, looks like.
By the way, guys, we forgot to tell you, Chris is a data guy.
Oh, I did data.
Yeah, Chris is P1 data, so we're actually reviewing real data. I was trying, I was scared.
Actually, yeah, because you actually are slowing down earlier. But honestly, let's like throw away the first turn, because when we look at the time, you make it all the way to the entrance to really what is turn 2. And when in turn 2, you're only down me by a tenth, but then when it gets to turn 2, that's when you see this giant ramp up. You're shift like 11.3. I'm shifting at 12.5, 13,000.
I know what you mean by that corner's a man corner. I hung it out twice. I went off twice and just stood in it. I think my fastest lap, I was off. I was fully off the course on that one.
Right here, we both come back to equal, and that's because we should both be 6th gear wide open.
It's scary.
And then you're just basically 6th gear wide open, 4-wheel sliding it, skating it.
So that's normal?
That's the way we roll. Yeah, so that's it. You look at all those. You see how many skid marks are in that corner, and it's because everyone's going through there wide open just in a 4-wheel slide.
I'm like, man, like, just watching those tires come up. So do you lift right here? Are you lifting right here?
That one? Yes, I do like a lift.
All right, I think I've had enough relaxation. I think it's time to go back. But I think more than anything, again, the vibration and the breathing is kicking my ass. And it's not allowing me to drive deeper. And obviously there was a fear factor in this, but I think by the 12th lap, I almost got over it. But it's still very real. I can't imagine going side by side doing this bullshit. This dude does it.
Intense.
GT cars are fun, but I don't mind this at all. This is an insane adrenaline rush, but I need to be a little less fat and have a lot more stamina for this. But anyways, let's go back up. One thing I didn't go over was the kart itself. If you guys want to check out Chris's 25 race kart, this is a kart. Obviously got the big radiator. Instead of using a screen, he uses some duct tape to regulate his heat. There's no fan. If you guys have never seen a shifter kart, this is it. So, I mean, there's no suspension. It's frame. There's the frame, there's the knuckle, and there's the wheel. There's the spindle. It's got real disc brakes like a car. It's got a caliper on it. It's got an aero package. This year he went with these cool vanes. Over a single slit over there, his last kart. And look at this. I mean, this is as rudimentary as it gets. You got the gas, you got the brake right here. Everything is cable. Is the brakes manual? Yep. Well, it's connected to a hydro, right?
Hydraulic.
Okay.
Hydraulic, brake bias.
There you go.
Brake bias is controlled by moving this forward.
There you go. You can adjust your brake
forward
bias.
cylinder, aft cylinder.
Got your gas, you're sitting right next to the gas tank. And on the engine side, it's gonna be, are these regulated? Like this has to be like this? It's a restrictor.
Spec engine must be just like that. Orifices or this whole, it's spec from here to here.
So
Vortex rock shifter, 43 horsepower, 6-speed.
Everyone's got the same motor, 43 horsepower. If you guys, it looks kind of weird. This is your intake. This would be your cold air intake, you could say. This is your carburetor intake manifold, and it's a single cylinder. So you've got the head here, got the piston down here, and you've got the complicated mechanism of the clutch. What do we got? A clutch and what else?
Dry clutch.
Dry clutch.
That one's a 6-speed.
And there's a 6-speed gearbox in there that is controlled by this. Boom, boom, and it's just like a bike. Neutral is right there. So up is 1, down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you need to be extremely direct with it or you're going to miss some gears. You got your transfer tube back here and a giant muffler section that, look how small it gets right there. And then it expands in this giant, what would you call this part?
Expansion chamber.
So you got expansion, and then we're going into, this would be into the muffler. And then I'm guessing this is for sound regulation.
Yeah, it's pretty loud without that.
And then look how, I mean, the axle is directly bolted to the chassis between these, would you say carrier bearing?
Yeah, cassettes.
Like a cassette bearing?
Yep.
So
three cassettes.
When I talk about the vibration I mean, the motor is bolted directly to the chassis. So all the vibrations of a 1-cylinder 2-stroke engine is going all the way to your ass over here. So you can only imagine doing 75 plus in this tiny little thing. This is 300 pounds, 380?
The kart empty, about 210.
210 pounds is what this thing weighs. So 43 horsepower, two-stroke. The main reason I'm even out here is because, I mean, we'll obviously want to drive, but Chris just took delivery of our first FF Performance Extreme Sim Racing AX160 SIMAGIC rig. And I'm not going to sell you guys. Just, Chris, tell them what you think of the rig.
It's awesome. That's super epic. I've driven simulators before, but yeah, from the time you guys delivered it, we set it up, we got everything running, and it is just dialed. Like even using it on the monitor, it's amazing. The steering wheel feedback, the pedal feedback, the whole setup, like super clean. And then once you put on the VR stuff, it's just out of control. Like the graphics in there, the immersion, amazing. But they really, like, all that stuff is awesome, but really when it comes down to the build quality of the components you guys put on it, and just like the whole package that you delivered, it is such a super high-end turnkey item. And I already see it. Like, I've already downloaded my next tracks that I'm gonna be racing on with it, and I'm already using it as a tool. So thank you guys.
That was my first one. I've talked about it way too long. I'm not even going to talk about it again. It is awesome. Love to see it. Thank you, Chris, for taking me out here. Spring Mountain. We're here at the karting track. What configuration was this?
This is just called North Track clockwise.
So North Track clockwise, his average time's usually a 46. He clocked a 48 in the kart I drove. I clocked an unofficial 49.9 because I lifted because I thought I was going to die, and the counter kept going. It's really annoying, but we're going to review the data so we can confirm that. But you know, Chris is a Vail, and you know, Chris does a lot of data in race cars. You know, just looking at my data, even being out there the first time, I needed to control my breathing. I needed to calm down, and a good hour break. I went out there, I drove it on the nose. You know, I gained a solid 2 seconds just driving it deeper and deeper into the corner. And then my fear started to kick in on the last turn. I was making up all the time in the mistakes in the infield, and then the last corner, I kind of chickened out. And then I didn't go out for the last session because I did realize that was my limit, and my arms are completely jello right now. But I'm glad I got my breathing under control. I had a great time. Again, guys, if you've never been in a shifter kart, this is something you really need to experience. I can't explain it. And again, one thing I want to touch on with this type of stuff that I don't think race car drivers do, is this fun?
Oh yeah.
There you go. This is the most fun ever. I never hear that in interviews with, you know, NASCAR drivers or, you know, or GT drivers, like, oh yeah, you know, we battled, we did this, we had a good pit strategy, and it was great, we won. I had a fucking great time being the slowest motherfucker out here. Thanks, Evan. You inspired me to do this vlog. You know, hope you guys like it. You know, kind of doing something out of the norm. And if you guys like it, leave a comment. Let me know. Peace out.